Hello there. Today I'm going to share some research on disability glass barriers. This is research that I did with my co-authors Anna Brzezinski, David Baldridge, and Brent Lyons. So to begin, there's lots of qualitative research on glass barriers, barriers to career success experienced by persons with disabilities. There are three different types of glass barriers that are often described: glass ceilings, glass partitions, and glass cliffs. Glass ceilings are these barriers into management roles. Glass partitions are barriers once one becomes a manager, keeping one in one position, and we need to move laterally to move up, so the person can potentially become obsolete in their organization in such a role. And then glass cliffs are after losing a position, not being able to re-enter back into management. So in this research, we are exploring how disability relates to these experiences of glass barriers, and also how different types, different characteristics of disability might relate to the glass barriers, specifically looking at disability type, things like mental, physical, sensory, and multiple disabilities, and perceived severity of disability being low or high. So this research is based on some quantitative data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics in the United States. It's the National Longitudinal Survey of Youth. It runs every year to every 2 years, starting in 1997. We are using data until 2017. So we start here with almost 8,000 respondents, of which 6,820 reported no disability in 1997, and 1,068 reported having a disability in 1997, including a mix of disability experiences. And at the beginning of this survey, respondents were aged 12 to 18, and in 2017 they were 32 to 38. So we're going to look at their career progression, entry into management positions from that beginning stage all the way up until 2017. So looking at results, looking at our different glass barriers, just considering the glass ceiling, here I have a Kaplan-Meier survival estimates up on the slide, and I'll also be sharing these slides online. We see that having a disability relates to slower entry into management positions and lower overall entry over time. Now, as we would expect with glass partitions, very meaningfully here, persons with disabilities remain in their first management position longer than persons without disabilities. And this is really important because this is representative of job mobility, whether one moves around through management roles. And then third, looking at glass cliffs and disability status, we see that after having exited a management role, persons with disabilities re-enter management at a lower rate than persons without. So I don't have figures up on this slide, but we also have results and findings on disability type and severity, and this nuances our findings a bit, right? We see that persons with mental disabilities experience all three of these glass barriers to a greater extent than persons with physical and sensory disabilities. And further to that, persons with more severe disabilities experience these barriers to a greater extent than persons with less severe. Now, it's really important that in this research we controlled for the individual's perception that impairment might relate to the ability to work in terms of time and amount of work. So this kind of helps us, state that it's not impairment's relationship with work that leads to this kind of lack of, entry into management roles, remaining in a role longer than other individuals, and so on. That more likely what we're seeing is stigma causing these effects. So to wrap everything up here, this is a first qualitative study that we know of that's been conducted on the three glass barriers and disability. Everything else so far has been qualitative, and this is really meaningful because we can start to better understand these experiences at a more generalized level. We've got longitudinal data, so we explore this across a long amount of time, and really importantly, because we are looking at disability early on, 12 to 18, we can start to explore how career success really begins before entry into the workforce, right? We know about barriers and stigma during education. We know about those barriers during the school to work transition. And so organizational inclusion, employer inclusion, needs to account for these things that occur well before entry into the workforce. And further to that, right, we don't need to homogenize disability here. Barriers vary by characteristics of disability, right? We saw that disability type and also severity influenced how these glass barriers present. And last, because a lot of research on disability and career advancement focuses on entry into management roles, glass partitions are a really meaningful thing and really meaningful part of this research to see that we actually see people remaining in their first roles longer when they have a disability, also mental disability and more severe disability. So when we're thinking about intervention, not just looking about that advancement, but also about the job mobility of managers as well. So thank you very much for participating. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please contact me. My email is on this slide. I'll also share these slides. It is dan.samosh@queensu.ca.